my little cottage. Oh dear, there's so many dear old friends. Lucy, darling, how are your beautiful chrysanthemums? I'm sure they will win the county fair. Griselda, you must tell the vicar how much I enjoyed his sermon on Sunday.
Will do.
Thank you. Dolly, I do hope the Colonel has recovered from his cough.
He has.
Good, because it's such a terrible thing to be stricken with cough. Now, my dear friends, I'm sure all of you would like to say hello to me, but since there are so many of you, why don't we take care of it all together? I shall count to 3, and on the count of 3, you shall shout out all at once, "Well, hello, my dear. My, oh my, don't you look lovely today?" Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Hello, my dear. My, oh my, don't you look lovely today?
Do you really think so? I shall make an old lady blush. Well, down to business, shall we? As all of you know, just 6 months ago, on August the 7th, 1957, our dear little village of St. Mary Mead was woefully beset by murder. Yes, and what a horrible murder it was. Will people never change? Here we are in these modern times, and the human animal is just as cruel and savage as it ever was. Well, you agree. My dear friends, I am happy to announce that at last the murder has been solved, and as is sometimes the case, your dear little friend Miss Jane Marple had some slight opportunity of assisting in the investigation. And now, having all the facts I did not have at the time, I am ready to tell the story. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Oh, good. Then do sit back and pour yourself a cup of tea, for I find nothing goes quite so well with murder as a nice cup of tea. So where shall we begin? Of course, it was late in the night, and scattered here and there throughout the village were all of our story's most important characters. My dear friends, can you guess just which 2 of these seemingly innocent people were meeting in secret that night? Call out what they're wearing, or the tea table.
Tea too.
2 at the tea table. And my friends, can you guess just where in our village they were meeting?
Under the cupola.
Did you say, what did you say? The pub.
Caroline,
Charles.
thank you for meeting me here at the pub.
Yes, well, I try not to make a habit of going to pubs.
I know, sister.
A proper lady to be seen in a pub now, would we?
Caroline, I brought you here, my trusting sister, because I have something to confess.
Okay, Charles, that sounds quite serious.
And I know that father does not frequent this house, so I figured we have absolute privacy here. You see, I decided to drop out of Oxford Law.
What?
I wish to...
Charles!
Yes!
No, Oxford has been your dream since you were a boy!
No, it has been father's dream for me. My dream has always been to become an artist. A
Well,
painter.
yes, but that's not a very realistic dream, now is it?
Well, you have pursued a career in the drama theatre. Why can I not pursue mine?
Because someone has to take care of the family, and it falls on the son. Oh. Well, we're quite lucky that Papa has quite a hefty sum of money, so we should be set, I do think.
Wait a minute. Besides the point of money, I thought that you, my own sister, would be understanding of this situation. But yet you seem to want to push me even further into a crevice with which I cannot get out. The deeper I wedge myself into that lifestyle, the harder it is for my heart to be true.
My dear friends, can you guess why, truly, really why, Caroline might not be supportive of her brother? Yes, tell me. Well, aside from that, because she's already mentioned it, anything else?
Jealous.
Jealousy.
Charles, I never had the opportunity to go somewhere like Oxford. You have been given a gift in life. Women are not allowed to attend Oxford. You have to go on behalf of us. You know I've always wanted to be a doctor, not an artist. Oh, it seems as if we were born in the wrong bodies. Ever times.
Yes, I understand, Caroline, that this is a dream that you have also become unfulfilled in, but it is not a responsibility that I shall take upon my shoulders. I will not be made guilty of this. Good day.
Ah, Tabitha, 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 I dare say you've decorated our home marvelously well. I love when you change things about the way you do. Why, that picture looks just fine above the mantelpiece. Just fine, darling.
Oh, Roger, thank you for noticing. I'm so glad to see you, my dear, for something terrible has happened.
Terrible?
Yes, and I don't quite understand it. Dear, I've been receiving these bizarre letters.
Letters?
Yes. I don't quite get it. It says, I see what you have been doing. Now, see, what I don't get is I do a lot of things. Why can't it be specific? I see you cooking. I see you playing in the garden. I see you doing all kinds of things, but why not specificity?
Well, darling, when did you receive this letter?
Well, I received it this morning. It was under the doorstep.
Do you recognize the hand?
Well, I don't. That's just it.
Tabitha, I have to say this worries me. Why, what if somebody is watching our home?
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's most disturbing.
You know, this could not come at a worse time, for I had just decided recently that I was going to give our son Charles a fascinating gift, you see. You know how well he's doing in Oxford.
Yes.
Well, I have decided that upon his graduation, I would at once promote him to president of the family business.
That's a wonderful...
My friends, the family business. Can you guess just what the family business is?
Making soap.
Say it again?
Making soap.
Making soap.
What a wonderful idea.
Oh, I think Charles will be just fascinating at the head of Simpson's Sons.
Well, it's just perfect. You see, he's so dirty most of the time, so perhaps that will help his hygiene.
And yet, dear, you know, now that you've begun receiving these letters, I wonder if there's something infamous afoot. For you know, old man Blackwell and his Blackwell bars of soap has been our most atrocious competition all of these years. If he knows that I'm about to hand the business over to Charles, I wonder if he senses an opening, and I wonder if he's going to begin stalking our family and blackmailing us in order to try to bring us to ruin right here upon the precipice of our next wave of fortune.
Well, that makes perfect sense. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, but who? Right. Well, you know, dear, I've always been a little bit intimidated by old man Blackwell. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do about it.
Well,
But
just because he's 2 feet taller than you doesn't mean that you can't just, look up to him and do that thing you do. That thing that you do with your feet. It terrifies most people, myself included.
darling, it's called tap dancing.
Yes, it is terribly frightening when you do it, and I know that could work.
Darling, You know that I have decided long ago that a career in the performing arts is no way for a man to make his living. I had it drummed out of me by my father, and that's why I'm so proud that I've been able to drum it out of Charles. Don't you see? Once he takes over the business, you and I could finally retire the way we've been talking of.
What a dream that would be.
My dears, can you guess what their retirement dream is? Travel. Let's get a bit more specific. Where do they want to go?
Africa. Walking the Lake District.
Walking the Lake District in Africa.
I should very much love it if you traveled to Africa and I got to go to the Lake District.
I would love nothing more than to walk the Lake District with you.
You are so romantic.
Darling, there's nothing more to your friendship with old Blackwell, is there?
Well, we did have a little dalliance. It doesn't matter, does it?
Well, yeah.
Well, it meant nothing to me. I didn't care about him. It was just a little dalliance.
And you told me it was over before we wed. Darling.
Yes. Yes, I believe I did. Well, you know I don't have my short-term memory.
This letter, dear. It is, perhaps as I assume, Blackwell strategizing against us and not something that you might not be telling me.
Let me think. I saw what you did. I saw you could possibly be cooking. We covered that. We talked about playing in the garden. We
Darling.
talked about not having an affair. Oh, I saw what you did. You might be having. I saw you having an affair.
Darling.
Yeah.
Do you realize you just said out loud that you're having an affair?
Did I say that out loud?
Yes, you said that out loud!
I thought I was just thinking it.
Of course, what our friends did not know is that morning, old man Blackwell had passed away peacefully in his sleep. However, he left behind a widow.
Oh, Madam Blackwell, thank you so much for seeing me in such late notice.
Oh, Evelyn, do come in. Please sit down.
Thank you so much, Madam. So I have taken care of everything that you prescribed. I sent the letter. I made sure that no one will know that he has deceased. We will keep it a secret so that your business can go on.
Very well, very well. Blackwell soaps is the only thing that keeps this home going, you see. And it is the only thing that keeps me going.
Oh, Madam Blackwell, you have so much more to you than cleanliness.
Do I, Evelyn? What do you see in me?
Well,
I am simply an old woman.
stand up.
Oh,
Go in front of the beautiful mirror.
oh.
Look at yourself. Tell yourself you're more than soap.
I am more than soup.
You are more than soap.
More than soap!
May I call you Ginny?
Please, Evelyn, it would please me so to call me Ginny.
Now, Ginny, this is the times. We cannot let the fact that your husband's death be known, or your competition will eat you alive.
Oh dear. Oh dear. You see, I just spent a fortune on having these stained glass windows done.
Oh, Ginny,
I can't afford for my business to go upside down.
Ginny, as your accountant, I wish you would check in with me on those things.
Oh, Evelyn, what's a $1 or $2 there?
Let me take out my papers. According to this, you've been spending more than $1 or $2, if you want to use that American currency, on many things.
I found that if I took £1 and talked to a trader who then would exchange it for $1, that I actually was making £1 or $2 on my dollar.
My dear friends, can you guess what it is that the Simpson family has that the Blackwell family would like? It's, in fact, What makes her so uncomfortable? Why is there so much competition between them? What do the Simpsons have?
Their soap suds up.
I heard something over here first.
Ice sculpture.
Secret ingredient.
Ice sculpture.
Ice sculpture.
It's reaching.
Then,
Ginny,
in the end, I am afraid that we will not be able to keep up with Simpson suds because, did you know that their suds actually produce a type of ice sculpture? As strange as it sounds, it was discovered at the recent bridge club. I was there.
No.
I saw it.
you saw it?
There was a bowl of ice. It was for the punch, you see.
Yes.
And somebody had recently washed their hands in the lavatory and they had used the Simpson soap. They reached in with their hand for God knows what reason. And before our eyes, that bowl of ice became a unicorn. Fully formed, with wings. I suppose that's a Pegasus as well.
Oh, Ginny.
How can we keep up with?
We might be bankrupt. This is horrible.
We
Now,
must.
Ginny, the coveted unicorn is the symbol of great success. And the only way for us to accomplish succeeding this would be to ruin them.
And ruin them we shall, I suppose, and I am more than soap. I am more than soap.
You are more than soap. Let us go. I have a plan. But making soap from pigs! Down with making soap from pigs! Down with the... Nobody's listening to us.
This protest is not working. What shall we do?
Well, I know. We'll go straight to the soap makers and we'll black out their windows and write signs of blood on them.
Oh my, you've taken this to a very dark direction, Felicia.
Well,
I mean, I support our cause, but I do think that we need to be a little more professional. Use our brains rather than our brawn. What we need to do is get inside. We need to befriend.
get a job. Get a job in the factory.
A job.
No, not a job.
But I wasn't thinking of working, but I guess we could pretend to be laborers.
I'll be a secretary and you can be, you don't have to get a job. What do you want to be?
I'll be something. I'm going to go undercover.
Oh,
And then from the inside, we can blacken the windows and write things.
And they'll never know. Oh, it's so exciting.
Oh,
Let's start tonight. Yes.
Charles, my boy, you are looking strapping.
Thank you, Father.
Charles, do sit down. Do sit down. Charles, I wanted to show you something and tell you something that you didn't know. You see, Charles, I have decided that upon your graduation, you shall become the president of Simpson Sons. And because of that, I am ready to share with you the secret ingredient that allows our sons to make ice sculptures.
Father,
Careful of Winston Churchill.
Father, I'm honored and grateful for
Yes,
this
yes,
opportunity.
I know you are.
But rather, I am curious as to what the ingredient is, actually.
Oh, well, we'll get to that for sure, but it seems as if there's something on your mind.
Father, I decided not to finish law school at Oxford. I decided not to become part of the family business because I wish to be an artist.
I assume this is some type of college prank?
It is no prank, Father. I regret to tell you that I must follow my heart, Father.
Follow your heart?
Yes.
You know what happens when you follow your heart? People say to you, you can't tap dance well!
Well, I can, Father, and I can do many other things artistically that perhaps you would never be able to do. But that does not make me into a failure.
Charles, I'm sure this is a passing fancy, and when this fancy passes, then then you and I can resume our business. Now do sit down and I'll tell you about soap!
No! This is my dream, Father. This is what I've always wanted my whole life, and I've always been in your shadow. The shadow of soap, the shadow of cleanliness, the shadow of being proper. Put your tissue here, your spoon here.
You have knocked over my ice sculpture of Winston Churchill! I warn you, Charles. There are larger things here at stake than your childhood fancies, and you shall fall into line, or heaven shall rain pain upon you!
Or heaven shall rain pain upon you. My dear friends, the warning of a father, very frightening. And in fact, after those words were spoken, someone in our story breathed a final breath. But can you guess who? My dear friends, which of these poor innocent folks was found to be dead?
I hate accountants.
Caroline.
I heard someone say something from Mom, Bob, what was it? Mother. And that whole matriarch's body was discovered like this.
Oh, Papa, it was simply dreadful.
Caroline, what are you blubbering about? What has happened, girl?
Well, there I was. I walked to town. Sit. You want to sit for this? I was walking to town to go to the store to get something for the market. And there I was walking down the back lane, which is the shortcut. And there by the dumpster, I saw something quite peculiar. So I went to go see what it was. And oh my, it was Mother. She's gone.
Mother?
Yes.
Well, what is it? Is she at the hospital?
I don't know what happened, but I heard a ruffling sound, and I just saw the back of someone running off. I don't know who it was. Oh, Father, it was dreadful. She had a tie, a men's tie, wrapped around her neck, pulled tight. Her tongue was... her eyes were... and in that moment... Oh, I don't think I could ever get that image out of my head, Father. It was dreadful.
Are you telling me your mother is dead?
She's gone, and I didn't even get to tell her the thing that was most important to me before she left. So I will tell you now, I am dropping out of art school to go to Oxford. I am meant to be a doctor. I am 94.5% more smart than Charles. I am the future of this family, and Mama would have stood by me.
That is what you think about upon discovering your mother dead?
Well, it was the thing I was on my way to tell her, so yes. It's dreadful, Papa. I'm going to need some help planning the memorial services.
My Tabitha?
Tell me again, Papa. Tell me about the day you met her. I love that story.
There she was. It had just rained. She was walking around a puddle and saying, "Oh, look at me, walk around the Lake District."
It was always her dream.
I thought it so charming that I asked her why she was calling the puddle the Lake District, and that's when she explained to me the first time that is where she wanted to retire. At that moment, I decided I would marry that woman and help her retire there, and now all my plans gone. All the more reason all the more reason why Simpson Suds must continue to prosper. For now, I shall take all the money from the company and use it to establish a foundation, the Tabitha Simpson Lake District Walking Foundation.
Oh, Father, call on me to help you, please. I am an asset to this family. It's time that you see that.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you.
My friends, our dear St. Mary Mead's most dashing and professional detective, Inspector Craddock, was on the case.
Madam Blackwell, thank you for allowing me into your parlor.
Oh, it is a pleasure, Inspector Detective. Please, sit. I will have some ladyfingers brought out momentarily. Let me ring for them. They'll be here soon.
I would love some ladyfingers. May I first flatter you by saying that...
Ladyfingers?
Mama, I don't want to be your servant.
Oh, darling, you know it saves us money. Please just play along with me this one time. Please go get a plate of ladyfingers and bring them to us.
Okay.
Thank you. Sure.
Your daughter seems to have such disdain for you. In front of strangers, no less.
Well, I think that she's in a bad mood. Perhaps. That's all. Nothing more.
I could see how a suspected murder in this town of St. Mary Mead could rile her feathers. But
Yes.
back to
Yes.
my flattery. Blackwell soaps. Oh, for years I remember as a little boy dreaming of being a detective inspector as I am. I would sit in my tub. I would scrub myself every crevice and pore with your soaps.
Oh, that is so lovely to hear. I must say that your skin has developed quite nicely.
Thank you so much. It's no doubt to your formula.
Well, thank you.
Now, on to business.
Yes.
You see, the matriarch of your rival soap business
Yes.
was found deceased this morning, and it's believed that foul play was involved.
Oh, dear. Not again. You know,
Again,
well,
has this happened before?
not with people, but with cats, I must say. That there was a series of cats that went missing, and we never did figure out where they were going. But go on, please. It is a tragedy and a mystery indeed, so yes, it is terrible to hear. But you suspect foul play?
Madam Blackwell, there has been a foul rumor that has run across my desk that your husband was having an affair with the woman.
Oh,
Is there any credence to this?
please. Oh, dear. Inspector Detective, you are a humorous young man. My husband would never do such a thing. Oh, no. We loved each other dearly. You see, we met on a cruise. Oh, it was lovely. Both of us in the Atlantic Ocean on a ship for 3 months. I saw him for the first time as he descended a circular stair down to the deck where they were playing cribbage. I did not know how to play, but at that moment, as he descended, there was a beam of light that came through and shone upon him, and he was nothing more than a god. I must say that at that moment, I fell in love with him, and I courted him the entire 3 months. By the time we got back, Inspector, we were married.
Dear. Well, it seems like at one point in time you did have quite a stunning relationship.
Yes, indeed, we did.
But what about these days? I hear that old man Blackwell has not seen his face. I haven't even seen him around your manor today. I would like to shake his hand if I could.
Oh,
What with his tallness, I hear he's 2 feet taller than a normal man's height, which has been hurting his back as of late. He's been
Yes.
stuck in that wheelchair.
well, he's actually in traction at the moment, so he can't possibly see you. I would love for him to meet you. In fact, It'd be an honor for him to meet you, Inspector, but he's laid up as it is, and his body is being tractionized from one end to the other.
I see. And forgive this intrusion.
Oh, my dear. Yes. The lady fingers, thank you. Thank you.
These look delightful.
Please.
Raspberry, my favorite.
Oh, how lovely. Yes, yes.
I'm so sorry for this intrusion, but a woman so domineering as yourself certainly would like a man who can handle her, and your husband being out of commission as of late, how has that impacted your more secluded interactions?
Inspector Detective, that is a bit private, but I will share with you something that I recently learned. I am more than soap. Think about that.
Is that a new slogan?
Very well, maybe. It's a discovery that I made, and to tell you the truth, I have found that I can make my way quite well without my husband. In fact, he's been in traction for a while, and things have been running smoothly and well.
Just across town, Charles was having a meeting with someone else.
Charles, thank you so much for meeting with me at this time. I'm so very sorry about your mother.
Thank you, Margaret.
I came as soon as I could, as soon as I could. Are you all right?
Margaret, my heart is broken. Mama, she was the only one that I thought could understand me, and before I had a chance to tell her about my dream, she's gone.
So sorry. I feel so bad. Geez, we've been friends for so long, and growing up together, I felt like your mother was almost like my mother.
You're so sweet.
I'm so
Margaret.
sad.
Margaret.
But there is something else I was hoping to talk to you about.
Please.
And I hope this isn't being too forward, but I understand that your mother was murdered.
That seems to be the case.
And I have an old aunt. You may have seen her around the neighborhood. Her name's Miss Jane Marple.
Yes, of course, Miss Marple.
But I took it upon myself to call her and have her come over because she's such a brilliant woman and she likes to dabble in murder. Not committing them, but solving them.
Yes, her reputation is well known with me. Is she here? Is she supposed to come here now?
I have invited her here. I hope it's not too forward.
No.
Oh, she's here now.
Miss Marple.
Darling
Auntie,
Margaret.
Auntie.
So lovely to see you.
Charles.
Please have a seat.
Margaret.
I'll
Charles.
Margaret.
You go a long way back, do you not?
Oh, yes. Have a seat, please, my dear. So, Charles, I have filled in and Jane a bit with the details of what I know.
I am so sorry for your loss. And, Margaret, I wish for you to stay. It has been my wish, ever since I saw you both playing together at the sandbox, that the two of you would one day finally act upon your feelings and marry.
Well,
Jane, please.
I may be a spinster, but I'm observant.
Well, Margaret, you are a lovely woman, and I'm quite flattered by this. But I'm apologizing, my heart is not in the right place
I
anymore.
know, I'm so sorry to be so brazen in such a horrible moment, but you see, it just needed to come out finally. And, well, I am also very close to the detective inspector, and so I will do my utmost to assist him.
Thank you so much, Miss Marple.
And maybe, Aunt Jane, you could assist me in helping to get to know Charles even more deeply than we already do. Maybe perhaps I could get a job with you and work with you, and then you could see where your heart really is.
I've left the family business. Father and I, we had an argument and I decided to go. So I'm sorry, I will not be able to assist you in that department.
Oh, no problem.
Well, my dears, why don't we go back to my place and continue tea there?
Come, Lady Blackwell, none of your excuses. I will speak to him at once.
No. He's in traction. He cannot be spoken to. Head to foot, I say. Head to foot. All strung out. Vocal cords as well, you see. His spinal cord was compressed. Being such a tall man, he was under so much compression for so many years, he actually shrunk a few inches.
You're lying.
Oh, how do you know?
Because I know you, Penney.
You think you know me?
I know when you're lying. Tell me the truth.
Oh.
Your husband is dead, is he not?
Yes, he's dead. He is dead. But, as I recently learned, I am more than soap. Do you see what I mean?
Not at all.
Well, you see, all of this, and let me just show you how familiar. All of that was made upon soap.
Did you murder your husband, Peggy?
How dare you?
How dare I? Do you think I don't know what you're capable of? I keep my tongue where it belongs, and when I see someone reeking of murder, I know whether to breathe air of it or not. I shan't have to say a word about that. But
Must say that your tongue is showing too much right now, and if you're not careful, it may be chopped off.
It may be chopped off. Oh, you understand now, don't you? Yes. After she spoke those words, someone in our story was murdered. But who do you think it was? Yes, my friends, can you guess who was murdered?
The accountant.
The
Accountant.
And the poor sod's body was discovered like this.
Oh, darling, darling, you must comfort me in my hour of deepest sorrow. Of course, my husband is passed, and now my accountant. Oh dear. How will we get on without it? I shall never forget it. Please sit, and I shall tell you how I found the body.
Oh dear mother.
Oh,
You found it?
I did. I came home from my bridge engagement.
Yes.
I thought, oh, I shall talk to Evelyn, see how things are going. I walked up the stairs. Her office door was ajar, strangely open, cracked ever so slightly. From inside I could hear a slight hissing sound. I thought, how strange. What is she doing in there? Breathing? So I pushed open the door. I looked about. I could not see her, but yet this hissing sound became louder. And as I walked in, I saw her upon the floor, laying there with air, leaving her body ever so slightly, like a tire with a puncture wound, hissing. Oh, my darling, I shall never, ever be able to look at a tire again.
Mother, you're not lying, are you? You've lied so much. You don't know, but I overheard you talking to the detective. You told him father was alive. I don't want to continue these lies.
Darling, if you wish to have a lifestyle that you are used to, then you should go along with the lies that I present. But I am not lying about the death of our accountant. I assure you, I found her in such a way that I am telling you the truth, my dear. You can trust me on this.
Detective Inspector Craddock. Thank you for meeting me. I have some important information to share with you.
Company, please take a seat. It's my office, after all. I ought to be hospitable.
It's about that woman Tabitha. I went through her drawers. And I found something most peculiar.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You went through her drawers or her drawers?
Her drawers, Craddock. And I found these letters.
Oh, dear.
They are most perplexing.
Please, place them on my desk.
Yes, I saw what you did. I saw where you went. I saw what you saw. Where's the specifics?
Seem rather thrown by this.
Well, it's not helpful at all. Clearly somebody was watching her. Clearly somebody saw what she was doing. Well, what? I want to know. Inquiring minds need to know. Craddock.
Humperdinck, I think you've missed one clue which might lead us. Not the content of the letter, but what the words are written in. Smell.
Oh.
Rather fragrant. is it not?
Yes. How could I possibly miss that?
As a young boy, I would use the product in my tub. Raspberry syrup. Blackwell syrup, if I'm not mistaken.
But of course. I didn't think to smell these. Oh. Well, that's specific, isn't it?
So, Humperdinck, I believe that leads us back to the Blackwells.
Yes. I shall go back and I shall search the drawers over there. Thank you.
Charles! I tell you, my boy, the pathetic police around here have made no progress whatsoever in discovering who killed your mother. I have had it up to here with stress and pain. Have you decided to come back and fulfill your filial duties?
No. I decided to go on my own path, the path of my true heart.
Fine then. I have not only lost a wife today, I have also lost a son. I warn you, Charles. Pain is coming.
I warn you, Charles. Pain is coming. Well, my dear friends, what do you think? Another death? No, not yet. My dear friends, look at the time. I believe we should take a nice little break. Friends, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your little break.
Yes.
Good. Well, to recap where we were, Roger Simpson was given his son Charles one last chance to join the family business, at which point he said,
I warn you, Charles, pain is coming.
Well, immediately after that,
Sit down. Caroline! Caroline!
Yes, Father?
Come here, child. Sit there.
Yes, Father.
Caroline,
Yes, Father.
I have called you here to let you know that upon my birthday, in 2 weeks from now,
Yes.
you shall become the president of Simpson Sub.
Oh, Father!
Yes.
Thank you so much!
Yes, you may appropriately thank me with a modicum of praise.
Oh, yes. In fact, I wrote a poem for you.
Go,
I have
child,
it just
with your
here.
poem.
Dearest Father, the light that sparkles upon your head shimmers like stars in the sky. My thanks for you is as eternal as the galaxies above and the hell below.
Aha! King Lear had not better daughters.
Congratulations. This is something that you had wanted, and Father, it seems that everything has worked out.
Oh, has it really, Charles? Because not only have I made Caroline the president of the company, but you, sir, are dead to me. You are completely stricken from our will, completely stricken from my life, and completely banished from my home.
Both of you
No,
were...
Father, you can't do that.
It is done!
Father, you
I had nothing to do with this, Charles. Please believe me.
Both of you, from the beginning, day one, were against me. Only Mother was on my side.
Don't you dare raise your mother's name in your defense. Your mother wanted nothing more than for you to fulfill your responsibilities to this household.
You cannot tell me what to do anymore, Father. Apparently, I am no longer part of your family, so you have no right to tell me.
Please stop this! This is not what Mother would have wanted. We must come together and be a family. Oh, I'm just so upset.
Excuse me. Hello? Hello. You're Roger Simpson, are you not?
Yes?
Sit down. Now, I'm working on the case, as you know, with Inspector Craddock. And I have some questions for you.
Then you are the buffoon who has yet to come up with a single clue concerning the death of my wife.
And yet I have one clue today that I'm going to share with you. You own an automobile, do you not?
Well, of course I own an automobile. Really?
And have you noticed your torque wrench being missing?
My torque wrench, right? Why, yes, now that you mention it, I've mislaid my torque wrench. So what is there to that?
And have your tires deflated?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, my tires have deflated. But what is there to that?
When was the last time your tires were inflated?
Well, as a matter of fact, as an astute businessman, I keep careful mental records of my auto maintenance. And it turns out that I had my tires inflated, why, just Wednesday last.
Ah, that's it. Because in the last murder, there was a hissing sound that came from the body. A deflation of the body that can only be caused by one thing. A tire inflating and deflating. Yes, that is it. Absolutely.
Are you suggesting that the deflating sound of my tires killed a person?
Great portrait. Yes, I am. Is that your father?
What are you talking about? How on earth could the deflating sound of... Will you look at me, Constable? Let me tell you something. I might not have a lot of friends, but I had one person whose life meant more to me than anything in the world, and that person has been viciously taken away from me. It is your job to find out who did it. And instead of being here talking about pictures hanging upon my wall and spouting your ridiculous theories about hissing tires, I suggest you get out there and do some police work.
Now you listen to me. Sit down. That's right. I'm doing police work. I don't let any criminals get off my watch. And what I know is that the accountant that worked for your rival was found like a deflated tire. And you, owning an automobile, are a suspect. And I will bring my information back.
That is a ridiculously tenuous connection.
That's what I have. And that's what I'm bringing to Detective Craddock. Good day, sir.
Jane, thank you so much for meeting me here in the garden.
In my garden, you're welcome.
Yes, why, your petunias look lovely this time of year.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, how wonderful it is that we've crossed paths once again.
My dear, it is under unfortunate circumstances that it constantly happens, and I'm so sorry for that. There's this business of murder. Murder is such an unpleasant business.
It truly isn't, Jane. I am ever so thankful to have you, as for so many years I've been a detective and trying to solve these cases, but frankly, the officers who work under me have peculiar methods. Why, one of them obsesses over handwriting for some reason, and the other one takes very exclusive evidence and tries to link it to the case. I'm not sure I understand where they're coming from.
Oh dear, that is a problem. Well, let's discuss this then, as we normally do. What do you have so far? What are your suspicions?
Well, the rivalry between the Blackwells and the Simpsons is second only to that between the Montagues and the Capulets.
Yes.
Why, the soap industry has seen many dirty tricks pulled over the years. For 100 years' time, I believe the two families have been at each other's throats.
Indeed.
Nasty deeds. One finding they have an entire house filled with suds.
It's a blood feud, one dead from each family.
I was so caught off guard to hear that old man Blackwell was actually dead.
Yes, well, there's a little bit of gossip around that, actually.
No, do spill the tea.
Well, he was found to be dead. Well, it is so unchristian of me to say it, but I can't look at you when I say it.
Oh.
He was found to be dead in an inn.
Oh!
Yes. And it appears he had a cardiac arrest, doing some extracurricular activities. And I do believe it involved, well, the victim of the first murder.
Oh, dear.
Yes, they were continuing. What do you say to that?
Well, who died first, I may ask?
Well, clearly the Blackwell fellow.
Yes, that.
Women usually outlive the men anyway.
Well, Mrs. Simpson was found with a tie around her neck.
Someone must have known about this. Someone who has a vested interest in that not happening must have. And I know what you might think. Well, the obvious person is usually the obvious case. Lady Blackwell.
Obviously.
I'm not sure. I believe there are other people we could look into as well. I tell you what, Craddock. You do your snooping and I shall do mine.
Very well, but all this talk of murder and death makes me want to take a bath. I have my favorite Blackwell raspberry on hand, so I thought I'll do a little scrubbing up.
Oh, lovely.
Felicia, thank you for having me in your home.
Well, absolutely.
My love. I couldn't wait to see you again, Felicia.
Oh, Charles. Finally.
Yes.
I think we've got it. I tried to get into the job, into the Blackwell business and be a secretary so I could get rid of the pigs and get rid of the soap.
Felicia, I'm done with all that. I just want to imagine my life with you together in some cottage out, perhaps in the countryside of France. Me doing my artwork and you doing whatever it is that you do.
Well, you know Parliament's voted that ladies can now be a part of the House of Lords.
Yes.
I have ambition. I'm tired of my mother telling me I can't do what I want to do, making me her servant, lying for her.
Very good. So, I see a lot of passion in your eyes, huh?
Yes, as
Yes.
long as you won't make me just a little housewife, your servant.
Of course not, Felicia. You know, my mother had always told me in some ways that I'm a dirty, dirty boy.
Well, I'll show you how to get that cleaned up.
Oh, I bet you will.
Margaret, come quickly to the dogs. Stand back to back with me so nobody knows we're speaking. I asked you to meet me by the docks because I have big news to share. What is it? What is it? So I know that I had told you to go to my brother and seduce him so you could get a job at the soap factory. So our relationship could just kind of magically blossom.
Did you happen to know that he turned me down?
It turns out. He turned you down? Well, that's okay, because it was a scheme, you see. I wanted you in there so that we can make our meeting quite a natural occurrence. But in reality, I am in love with you. And now... And now, since I am destined to soap company, we can just come out with our love. Oh, modern as I would like, and well, I do think he would frown upon our relationship. So,
I'll have to try harder to use your brother's color.
no, my brother's no longer the picture. He's been disowned by my father. Of course, things have changed rather quickly. So here's what I'm thinking. I hire you to come and work for me. Just, in a simple setup like this. We can meet each other spontaneously on the job, and then you and I can fall in love there, so that we can appear to my father like we haven't been, seeing each other for the past year and a half.
There's one problem here, Caroline, and you must understand that this is very important to me. If I shall work in the soap factory, I cannot be privy to any pig murder. I cannot tolerate any abuse of animals, and I know that this is something that occurs.
It is true. Pigs are a vital part of our soup. We wouldn't have the soup if not for the pigs. In fact, it's a secret ingredient.
Not so secret. I'm afraid that I may have to bring in some products to replace the pigs.
But it won't work. The pigs mixed with the baking soda. That is what creates the icicles, don't you see?
How can you be so loving and warm, and yet so cruel to a poor little piglet?
Because look how dirty they are, ridding the whole world of dirtiness. Pigs are as dirty as they get.
Excuse me, let me get something out of my purse. Meet Beanie, my little piglet. Do you think this cute little thing is dirty? Look at that little tail.
You better keep it away from me or I'll turn it into soap.
Detective Inspector Craddock.
Make it quick, Humperdinck. I wish to meet with Mr. Simpson at once.
Oh, drop the pretense, honey. Mummy's here.
Don't let anyone see.
Oh, sweetie, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay. It seemed that you were losing a little of your confidence. Oh, come on, look at me. Mommy loves you. Mommy loves you.
Mommy, I'm Mummy's little boy. Okay, I said it.
You are smart. You are important. And you're pretty. And so, darling, you can do this. But I do need to tell you one thing.
Yes, Mom.
It involves sexual relations.
Mom, I don't want to talk about
that's
this.
just the point, dear. I don't think you and I can talk about that. So I'm going to not speak to you about any of the evidence that I might find around that topic, because it makes you very uncomfortable, and me, visuals. I'm so going to give it over to Inspector Cribble Creek, and I shall take care of the torch.
Very well, Mother, but I must meet Mr. Simpson. Please don't let anyone find out.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, Doc.
Go, officer, whom I have no relations with.
I shall be right back later.
Otherwise.
Oh, getting a little something on the side, are you, Inspector?
Mr. Simpson, please.
That's all right. You can speak freely among men. She's a cute little bird, that one was. Are you all right, Inspector?
I'm quite all right. Mr. Simpson, please erase that from your memory. Take a seat. Please, I know this looks like an interrogation room, but it's simply my office.
Why is there that bright light shining in my eyes?
Well, it's difficult to see it here. With the lack of windows and that large mirror there, I'd like to see my reflection.
Why does that sign say, "We got you"?
That is a letter from my friends. It's kind of a colloquialism of, like, we got you, like you're back.
Inspector,
Yes, Mr. Simpson.
have you brought me here to insinuate that I might be guilty of the murder of my Tabitha?
Your Tabitha? It hadn't even crossed my mind. I was thinking of the Blackwell Accountant, but now that you bring it up...
Good God, this is not about my bloody tires again, is it?
It's not about the ties. I've spoken to her about that.
Well then, do tell me what's on your mind, Inspector. I'm a very busy man.
Well, I came to ask you about the blood feud between you, the Simpsons, and the Blackwells.
Yeah.
And have not noticed there are one dead from your clan and two of theirs, as if a gang rivalry. One is gunned down and the other one is sought as revenge. You can see how I would put that together, couldn't you?
Yes, Inspector. Inspector, you're a smart man. I must say that you surround yourself with buffoons, but you clearly have a head upon your shoulders. The Blackwells and the Simpsons. Why, it's really something so silly, but there has been a blood feud between our two families dating all the way back to the 1600s.
My dear friends, can you guess what was the original sin? Why were they arguing back in the 1600s?
Somebody stole a pig.
Say that again?
Somebody stole a pig.
One of them stole a pig from the other family.
You see, it all started in Australia. Yes, my great ancestor, Aloysius Simpson, was sent to the penal colony for bank robbery and fraud. There, he met the great ancestor of the recently deceased Mr. Blackwell, Trulocker Blackwell. Well, Trulocker Blackwell and Aloysius Simpson formed at first a tight friendship, and they celebrated their new friendship by buying a pig. This pig, said Aloysius, shall stand as a sentiment between us and a symbol of our friendship. But one day, when Blackwell was grooming the pig, he accidentally pricked it. Some of the pig's blood fell into a fortuitously placed nearby pile of baking soda. Well, in order to clean up the mess, he grabbed the baking soda soaked in the pig's blood and ran it under some water. And two amazing things happened. Number one, the suds, when they evaporated, formed an ice sculpture of the Queen. And number two, his hands were remarkably clean. Well, you see, my great ancestor Aloysius was watching the whole thing. And this is where there's a stain upon our family. It was that moment when Aloysius realized the fortune to be made from soap that could turn itself into various ice sculptures. And without thinking, he picked up a nearby sledgehammer and he killed poor Blackwell on the spot. Yes. He took the suds and the blood and the pig and he ran off. But, unbeknownst to him, at that point he was also being watched by Blackwell's son.
What was that boy's name?
Peter.
Unexpected.
Yes.
So, the blood feud has been going on since the 1600s, and no doubt your family has been telling you this same story. Carry on this pig's blood feud until the end of time.
But don't you understand, Inspector? I wanted to end the feud. You see, as much as I love Tabitha, I, as a younger man, had an indiscretion.
Oh.
I had a fleeting affair with Blackwell's wife.
How many years ago was this?
Oh, who can do the math? I had a pet name for her. I called her Peggy. She and I had a brief dalliance. But it didn't last, for truly my heart was wed soulfully and truthfully to Tabitha. But having slept now with women from both families, I realized, isn't having sex more fun than fighting? And wouldn't it be fine if we could put this silly blood feud to rest, and if we could join families and make one giant soap factory that would rule the world together? A fantasy, I know.
Well, Mr. Simpson, this whole ordeal, your past and your hopes for the future, is quite an odyssey. And your storytelling is akin to the poet himself, Homer. Some might even call you by a nickname that could equate those two. Something since I can't put it together right now.
Inspector, there's something you need to know.
Yes.
The tie that was found around her neck. I had given that tie to Peggy. It was a last token of my affection before we broke off our affair.
Then I need to speak with Madam Blackwell at once.
Inspector, I can trust upon your discretion. There's no need to know about anybody's reputation. That won't come out in the natural course of things.
What does that sign say right there, madam?
Exit.
I've got your back. But let's go.
Well, you should have pointed to the other side.
Caroline, Charles Blackwell, thank you so, Simpson.
Oh, Miss Marple, can I please get you a cup of tea? It's so delightful to have you here. I haven't seen you around in ages. Well, not since the last murder. You remember that one, don't you?
My dear, I do understand congratulations are in order. There's been news in the town about your ascendance to the head of the factory. This is what you've been wanting.
I prefer president of the factory, as my rightful title does state.
Charles, I understand you are actually banished from this household, but thank you for meeting me here. I thought it was important that we clear up a few things.
Yes, of course. And my father's out here presently, and I do not expect to stay long.
My dear, can you tell me what type of arts you're in?
Nude portraits.
You model or you draw?
Oh.
And that is worth giving up your inheritance, your family, your duty for?
Yes, it is my passion, my true calling in life.
But there's more.
Yes.
Tell her, Charles.
I'm in love.
With the enemy.
I caught him. I walked in on him drawing her nude.
You saw that?
Yes! What am I to think? What is father going to think when he finds out? He is bound to find out.
What does it matter now? I am not part of the family.
My dear, I think perhaps this is something that could join the two families, do you not?
That would be a wonderful occurrence if it were to happen, but my father is such a stubborn man.
My dear, lost all by yourself without your mother. She was the only one who would look after you. Your mother favored your brother. That must have hurt.
Well, for a long time, both of my parents favored my brother, and it hurt quite a lot. It's been a recent development that my father has started to favor me. But yes, not having my mother's love did hurt Charles.
That was not my fault. I tried to incorporate you, Caroline.
Oh, hodgepodge. Every opportunity he got, he would show off something to her and simultaneously put me down. It hurt Charles. And it still does.
I see the sibling rivalry between you two, and it is not correct. But my dears, I feel sorry for you both, especially you. Yes, you have gotten everything that you want, but deep inside, there's something dark that lurks there.
I don't know what you're speaking of, Miss Marple. Whatever could you be talking about?
Lies.
Go on.
You are telling lies to your entire family.
I'm not. I love men. Not that you said anything about men. I figured I would clarify.
Scheming behind your brother's back. You might wonder how I know all of this.
I do, actually. Please.
I have incredible hearing, and we are neighbors.
It's true, yes. My bedroom window is open just into your bed.
Exactly. And my dear, you do not have a quiet voice.
I've been told that before.
Yes. Charles.
Yes.
You must know that your sister has been scheming, trying to get Margaret to fall in love with you, but Margaret and she are together.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. I'm so sorry.
So I knew it! I knew that you were trying to get me out of the family. It was all for the money. It was all for yourself. You've always been jealous of me, of my abilities, my artistic abilities, my passion for life. And you were always typecast into one role. That is not my fault. From day one. I thought you were true to me, but you never were. It was always a scheme. Everything.
It was always a scheme. Everything. My dears. Oh, it was an ugly moment between the two siblings. And what do you think happened next? A murder! But who do you think it was? My friends, can you guess which one of these poor souls breathed the final breath? Margaret.
We're sorry.
Oh, my friends, woe is this town so much murder. And Margaret's poor body was discovered like this.
Dear girl, what is this now?
Come in right away. I've got news to share.
The last time you acted like this, someone had been killed.
Oh, Father, it's happened again. It's just dreadful. The new woman that I had just hired to be secretary. I have something to tell you, Father. It's going to change your perspective of me.
Well, out with it, girl.
Margaret was the love of my life. This is who I am, Father. She was the most gentle soul I had ever met. When you and Mother were so busy fawning over Charles, she understood me. She was the person I could confide in. And there I was, going over to her house to have a cup of tea. Oh, thank you. To have a cup of tea. And I knocked on the door. Nobody answered, so I went around the back of her house. I know where the key is hidden underneath a little rock. I pulled out the key and I opened it. Oh, that's quite enough, thank you. I opened the door and I went inside and called out for her. And I heard nothing but a high-pitched buzzing noise. I could not figure out what it was for the life of me. And so I crept up the stairs, calling out for Margaret. And I found her. She was on the toilet. Her head was rolled back to the side. Her arms were as if they had reached out for something before falling limp to her side. died, and she had a small hole in her trachea, like something had stabbed her there. Father, it was the most horrible feeling. I thought I was depressed when Mother died, but I didn't even know grief then.
Am I to understand that the small hole in her chest looked like an Allen wrench?
I'm not too familiar with tools, but it's quite possible.
Where were you at the moment of this murder?
I don't even know when it took place. When did this happen, dear?
2:07 p.m.
2:07 p.m. Why, I was in the garage cleaning my Allen.
Aha! Your Allen wrench.
Officer, the fact that I own an automobile and the tools with which to keep it maintained does not implicate me in a murder.
And yet it does. Because an Allen wrench, a torque wrench, and a deflated tire all equal one thing. Guilt.
Officer,
I'm taking you to the station.
To the station? My daughter is in great distress here, not to mention that she has just revealed to me that she's in love with a woman.
Unless you knew, Father, and you did something to stop my love. Did you murder Margaret?
Don't be foolish, girl! Do you think I could run a factory and company as large as Simpson Suds and not have eyes everywhere? Come here. Look at that picture. That picture is our great ancestor Aloysius.
Yes.
And beneath his eyes, all of the trouble that has plagued us has unfolded. I knew that you liked women, child.
Well, Father, it seems that you're not the only one that had eyes on everything. For you see, I know you were having an affair with Madam Blackwell.
Don't you see, Caroline? It's time for this silliness to end. It's time for forbidden love to be thrown on the trash heap with all of the silly romances that made it forbidden. Why can't you love who you love? Why can't I love as many people as I choose to love?
Father, does that mean that you accept me for who I am, fully?
Sweet girl, I always have.
Oh, Father!
Well then, there's no motive. Nothing except for some tools missing from the shed.
I tell you, officer, I'm not responsible for any of these grisly murders, but as my family is being stricken with the loss, why don't you go out there and figure out who is?
I will do that. Be yourself.
Caroline,
Father,
come here.
I'm here.
Together, we shall make sure that all of this hatred is a thing of the past, and that people who want to love shall love. Come, we shall go to the bathroom, wash our hands, and make a nice sculpture of Jesus.
Mother, Felicia, I have something to tell you. Please.
It's time for this blood feud between our families to end. I am going to marry Charles Simpson.
Oh, Felicia. Oh.
You don't seem that surprised, Mom.
Madam Blackwell, it's time that you told her.
Told me what? Why are you
Told
here?
her who her true father is.
It's best that you sit. Please do sit, my dear. Oh, Inspector.
I'm sorry, it had to come out.
I suppose so, especially upon this news of your intended wedding. Oh, dear,
What is
dear.
it?
Let me tell you a story. First of all, this is half of a pig's hoof.
Mama, you know I don't want cruelty to animals.
Felicia, sit. Your great great-great-grandfather, Lubunka Blackwell, took this from the pig, from which the fortune was made.
This is old news, Mother. What?
The reason I have it, the reason I have half of it is because I had an affair, a deep love affair, with Roger Simpson, and he has the other half of this hoof. Dear, he is your father. I can only assume that because at the time of the affair, you were conceived. And
I was reading through the records, and 9 months previous to your birth, old Mr. Blackwell was strung out from a hip injury.
indeed, as so often, he had joint problems.
And so you see, girl, it was your mother and Mr. Simpson who tried to end that feud many years ago. And now it has produced even worse.
Roger.
Mr. Simpson.
Roger, my darling. Oh!
It is true. I am your father.
You're not. You may be in my blood, but you're not my father, and you're a liar.
Alicia, do not speak that way. You know there was a reason why you weren't as tall as you could have been. Dear, it is not important to
No
me.
time for that now, darling.
No.
I want you to have both halves of this dead pig.
Oh, Roger.
Felicia, my love.
Charles,
What are you doing here, Father?
don't kiss her on the mouth.
I believe I should leave. You all straighten this house. Good day.
I'm in love with her. Charles, that woman is your biological sister.
It's true, Charles. They have some rotten old hoops they put together that they wear around their necks.
Listen,
Charles.
and listen good. This shall work out for the best for everyone except you. You see, now that dear Tabitha is out of the realm of my love, I'm sure she looks down upon us and doesn't want there to be any more hatred. And old Mr. Blackwell, foolish of us to have fought for so long, clearly he too wishes for our two homes at last to be united.
Two hooves.
Yes. Out of all this dark murder, some light shall shine. Son, I forgive you. Live your life. Be who you are.
Later that evening, I asked the detective inspector to meet me at the Simpson household where the entire family was present.
Oh, Miss Marple, please take a seat.
Caroline, you're so kind. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me over. I hope you don't mind. I asked the detective inspector to come over as well because, well, there's been a big break in the case.
Has there?
How do you know what happened to my mother?
I know exactly what happened to your mother, as do you.
What are you talking about?
Oh, come now, Caroline. You took her out. But it was a mistake. It was your father you had intended to kill, wasn't it?
Yes, it's true! I was coming for you! But she was wearing your bathrobe that day as she was walking around. From behind, I thought it was you that I was killing.
For you thought for sure, if your father was out of the way, then you could get the entire company yourself. You knew that he was standing between you and your blind ambition.
Well, it should rightfully be mine. I am the only one in this family that understands what it is to work hard. I am the smartest one here, and it should all be mine.
I was going to give you everything I did.
Not just that, she knew you were going to try and join the two companies. Well, that goes against what she wants. She wants it all for herself. Exactly, the accountant knew. How do I know all of this? You're going to ask, of course.
How do you know all of this?
The girl is stupid enough to write it all in her diary, which fell out of her window.
You read my diary! That is personal!
Yes, I did. Detective Inspector, it's right here. That's evidence. Evelyn, poor girl, she got in the way. She tried to fight you, didn't she?
She did. But I will have no one stand in the way of what is mine. You! My whole life I have tried showing you who I am as a person, and you've turned a blind eye to me. I am worthy. I am better than you. And it was all so close to happening, too.
That darkness in your heart. Oh, it went pitch black when you turned on your love. Your Margaret. She told you to choose between her and the blood. She knew what you had done. So she was going to turn against you.
I've worked my whole life to get to this place. I couldn't let some frivolous love keep me back from what is mine, what I need to achieve. So yes, I used her. And I did truly love her.
Yes, you did, child.
And it was so hard.
How can so much passion for hatred and passion for love coexist in one human heart? Evil, I tell you. The human race is evil.
You?
Get her out of my sight, Inspector.
No, Father, please.
Officer Thunderhorn!
You just look like my Margaret.
I'm sorry, Father, please come visit me.
Please, I am sorry.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Simpson. This must be so heartbreaking for you. First you lose your wife, and then your daughter turns out to be a monster.
I only have one child left, as far as I can remember. Charles, I relinquish you from any responsibility to the family and the factory. I reincorporate you into our will.
If it's any consolation, Father, you do have another child.
I do.
My sister? My sister?
Felicia.
Oh yes. Don't marry her.
Charles, wherefore art thou, Charles?
Felicia.
Deny thy father and refuse my parentage. And if we have no children, take all my heart.
Do you see what happens when you study theater, Charles? Charles! Oh, you know what? Perhaps the three of us shall go and work this out. Miss Marple, I can't say that I thank you, but thank you.
Oh, I'm sure he forgot. Just an oversight.
Oh, Jane, I can never do this without you and, well, without my officers. They're waiting just outside. Do you mind if I invite them in?
Of course.
Right in here. Could you bring the other two?
Hey!
And Mummy's here, darling.
Sorry about your niece. What a shame. Lovely girl.
I owe an apology to all of you. Please don't cry. Your evidence about the car and the Allen wrench it came tantamount in this case as those were the murder weapons which led Miss Marple to discovering who had truly done it.
I felt stupid, you know. I did, I felt stupid.
I am so sorry. I was the stupid one.
Yes.
I need to apologize to you. I was so ashamed of working with my mother, worrying that everyone thought that I looked like a little boy. I should have never done that. I should have always been proud to work with you.
Oh, Bippy.
Mummy.
No one would ever think there's such a little boy.
We all love you. We're sisters, you know. You're our little nephew.
And on Thunderhorn, I'm sorry that I ate your beef Wellington out of the refrigerator.
At least it wasn't pork. I did that bad for you.
Oh, I did send him to his room for that.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Jane. I owe all my aunts, my mother, and you, my godmother.
It's true.
So much. I'm so happy to have such a wealth of women in my life. We're all working together, solving these cases, bringing together families who've been separated for generations.
Oh, sit on my lap, dear. We're having a moment.
That's a little much, Mother.
And dear friends, indeed, like the Montagues and the Capulets, what did we learn here? Blood feud, it's not worth it. It will take your loved ones away from you. We also learned never to engage in incest. But more than anything, we learned that men are most lucky when they're surrounded by powerful women. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end.